everyone, this is Shadow, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Previously, we showed the girls our crazy mad poetry skills in order to get on their good sides, and now we see what kind of other shenanigans we can get into. Alright, so you're probably wondering why I'm back at this screen. Well, to tell you the truth, I've been kind of bouncing around on how to do this. And if you've played the game, or at least know enough about it, you can probably guess what I'm trying to do. So, with that in mind, I'm actually going to try and figure out how I'm going to get with these two. And to do that, I have to start off again, so it's kind of a good idea to make a save right before this point if you're gonna try to do what I'm trying to do. But anyways, I will probably go ahead and skip this part until we see something new. Okay, here we are. Ugh. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I don't know, you kind of blurted it out when you first met Yuri. I heard you bring it up at some point. Case in point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. I can read. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is. Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ha! Much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means either way out of my demographic, or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Whoa. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. Yeah, I just muttered out the title. That could mean a number of things. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Daniel. Consider this a lesson straight from the Literature Club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. But I already have Yuri's book. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. You mean kind of like the opening scene for this game? The main menu, rather? It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. What? Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. There's a joke in there, but it's too easy. She then takes a seat against the wall, beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Huh? Why is that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that, dummy. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Do I offend? Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's particularly a bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? I personally don't. Not unless I'm really super bored and I really want to get into the series some more. That's just me. Not really. And apparently Natsuki as well. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Yeah, there you go. I'm kind of like that myself. Hey, are you paying attention? No. I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. A very slice of life kind of thing. Typical slice of life affair. I swear, I don't remember how the game goes, so I guess I'm just lucky calling it sometimes. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be plot? The good way or the bad way? Well, obviously. You'd think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with the guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you get to know the characters. So I guess simple character building and world building. And besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama. Like when they get into their backstories and when some of the romance starts to happen. That's really what makes it so good. There's so many touching parts. Huh, is that so? Sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, wait! What's that supposed to mean? Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't seen you at your full power. So what, she's like freaking Sith Lord? Is that what you're trying to say? Good save. This chapter seems like it's about baking. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well... Natsuki pauses for a moment, as if she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah. Why does that matter? It doesn't. I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? That's... just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got into this manga. Like I would ever get into anything because it's in a manga. I feel bad for anyone that impressionable. Ha 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 ha. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? We read on for a few more minutes. I've finished a couple of chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Okay, I think I touched on a heartstring. Jeez. Sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. I think I really touched a heartstring. I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? You mean the part where I said I'm a loser? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. Oh boy. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting into the little touchy parts here. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. Ugh, I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flip the page. Suddenly, Natsuki starts laughing. I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is my favorite character. You always feel a little bad for her since she's so unlucky. But it gets especially bad when I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Yeah, spoiler warning. Just finish this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience, the thought makes me smile a little to myself. Okay, everyone. Are you all ready with today's poems? I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Well, actually, no, I am, but still. Oh, come on. Could your timing be any worse? Sorry. I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there. Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. Whoa. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Oh, come on, am I really that bad? Alright. Guess I'll have to stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You're just giving it back? Don't you want to know what happens? Yeah, but... Monica just said... Don't be dumb, dummy. Just take it home with you. Is that really alright? Yeah, how do you feel me borrowing this? I say that mostly because I didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow and we can start the next one. And if it gets bent, I'll kill you. By tomorrow? Yeah, is that really enough ample time for me to finish this? Like, how many chapters are there anyway? I only got partway through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then. I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. Okay, we've seen this before. Okay. So, since I've gotten on Natsuki's good side, let's go ahead and continue. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Okay, well, let's get started. Let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things, like binge watching on my favorite anime shows. In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? In fact, that's what I had in mind when reading this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monica said. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. Sorry for choosing 20 random words and somehow making a poem out of them. I hope you're happy. Yeah, how do I respond to that? So in other words, you're saying you liked it. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. You're so... You don't understand anything, do you? Well, if I am like the main antagonist of a harem anime, I'm supposed to be oblivious. I already told you. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. But I am the protagonist. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. Okay, well this is the same poem as before, so... I'm not sure if I'm probably gonna skip over some of this. Oh. Okay. Kind of moving on down the line there. Yuri stares at the poem. Okay, yeah, I think time to go skipping again. Oh well. Okay, well, let's see what Sayori says. That has to be something new. Or not. Or no, wait, it is. This is a good poem, Daniel. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really part of the club now. Okay. And Monica for last. Let's see. Hi, Daniel. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I like it, Daniel. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Ah, jeez. No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. Well, considering I was kind of trying to go for her. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yup. By any chance, have you read anything by Shel Silverstein? Maybe a long time ago. I really don't even know who that is. He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. Okay. His poems can be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody. I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that. Sort of. Maybe she's not an expert, but you probably won't find much filler in her poems. They might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning through. So I can see why it would be your kind of poem to explore. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles. And... okay. Alright. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her, like a creeper. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. It's like destiny and romance. No, well, only if you see it that way. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? Hmm? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. You mean you stopped by at the bookstore just to pick up another copy of the book for me? I mean... I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just want to make sure I didn't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escape from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say so. Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Daniel? No, it's not that. I mean, depending on how the story goes, I can be either way. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind just seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange, new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. And then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. And what are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. There you go again. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that kind of makes it difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm, and holds it on the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet, and the angels cry. No. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes reading the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Oh. Funny enough, there's a whole bunch of theories going on with this game, and well, I'm not gonna spoil that part just yet, but they've made some kind of parallels to Yuri and this book in the story. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways. But she also second-guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Daniel, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Ugh, it's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really don't know I didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Wait, exhales, not expels. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you... Yeah, I did. Okay. Since we're getting a little closer to Yuri, let's go with her. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I just say that out loud? Yuri covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Oh... He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicate you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Well, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This isn't actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Are you thinking that someone else wrote this? Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. Okay, we've gone through this. Oh, what's this? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Daniel. Me too. Okay, well, I guess let's head on down the line. Let's see... Okay, great job, Daniel. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. You underestimate my power! More Star Wars references. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who uses simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. Okay. And that's that. Let's go with Natsuki. Let's see. Okay. Daniel, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? Yeah, I just started at poetry by choosing words from a word bank. If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Like you. Okay. I wonder who I should pick. Okay, let's get this over with. Okay, we just completely skipped over that. Okay, well anyway, I think that'll do it for this video, so next time, I guess, let's expect to go a little bit more deep into the story. I might be bouncing around like this for a while, but as I said earlier, if you've played the game, or at least you know enough about the game, you can kind of guess what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, I guess I'll see you all next time. Later.